Hello everyone, this is Christian Mel at Exciton Interactive, and in this video we are going to do a bit of behind the scenes work on our store, getting everything up and running so that we are defining the getters for our portfolio categories and plans. And once we're done here, we'll have a getter that we can request all of our plans. Point of that is that when we request one, we're going to have it automatically populate in the categories that are associated with this with that plan, which is of course stored in another array within our store. But that's what we will focus on in this video. As usual, before we get started, I'd like to say thank you for watching the video and for subscribing. And of course, if you're not a subscriber, I hope that you'll please consider subscribing to the channel. So the first thing that we're going to do, in the previous video or two, we've created the models that we're going to use for our portfolio. And let's go into, let's make sure I'm actually focused on the thing that I'm focused on, or think I am. So we have a portfolio category model within our store here. And I want to change something. I call this a portfolio ID. I want to refer to that thing as a plan. All of these, these two things are being prefaced with portfolio. So I want it to be a plan ID. So we're going to rename this to plan ID. So we'll rename a few things in here. So instead of a portfolio, we have a plan. So of course, instead of a plan or portfolio ID, we have a plan ID. So that updated a few things. Now our getters here, plan, and this thing, a plan ID. That got both of those for us. Plans. Let's rename that. And last thing to rename is this here. So instead of setting a portfolio, we set the plan. Actually, while we're at it, I guess. All right, so when I changed those, that also updated our portfolio's initial state. So let me go ahead and save all of that. So that takes care of all the changes that I wanted to make for the related to the previous videos. So now what we want, so we have the a state or a plan stored in our store, and we want to be able to get that plan, or actually those plans, when we have more than one. And so the first thing that we're going to do here is to go to our store constants here, and we want to specify some getters, some meaning 4. So let's get these and just copy them in. So we have a getter for getting plural categories, a singular category, singular plan, and the plural plans. So we have the store constants now. We want to specify these types for those getters. And we're going to do that within the portfolio types file here. We defined those constants, so let's just go ahead top of our file here and import them. So we have imported all 4 of them. And what we'll do now is specify some types. So generally, our getters are function. So when we say get from our store, what we're getting back is a function that takes in an ID and returns something. So export type, we'll have our getter for a portfolio category. That type, again, takes in a number, or is a function that takes in a number, returns our category model for us. And so now for the plural categories, a lot of times now we'll see here in the plans when it just returns an array. What I'm going to do for now, at least, have the getter will take in a plan ID, and then what it will do is give us back the categories for that plan. And we need our export type for getter portfolio plan, and that's again an ID, for a function that takes in an ID, a number, and gives us a plan model. I'm not going to have the plural ones. Again, the plural one is just going to return an array of portfolio plans, not a function that returns an array. And with those types, let's go ahead and export our interface for an portfolio getters. Just copy and paste these. So again, categories returns our getter for categories, category, and of course, like I said, the plans will return an array. All right, so that's done. The main work that we have to do in here is within the portfolio module itself. So right now we just have the state. So what we're going to do is add in getters here. So I'm importing the 4 getters that we just defined, as well as the getter for a security category, which we defined a long time ago. We're going to need to import a few things here. So we have the store functions. Inside of there we have our find by ID and the undefined message function specified. Let's bring in the portfolio getters interface that we just created, and we need from store action validator. We'll get our store actions and the validator itself. Import from store types. Inside of there now we need our store getters and the store getter tree, which we are about to put to use. But first, let's create a store action validator, which is a new store. All right, so we'll export the portfolio getters, store getter tree. So let's make some getters. Generally easier to start with, I guess. Not easier, it doesn't really matter, but I like to start with the singular getters because the plural ones depend on the singular. So let's create the getter for the category, and inside of there we're getting our portfolio getters. Perfect. So again, we're returning a function that takes in an ID. And okay, so we'll look at the state, which is the store state, but we have to specify that we're dealing with the state portfolio categories. And we get our portfolio category, which is our find by ID, passing in the state and the ID that we received. We check, oops, I'm going to go back and put my exclamation point in. We check to make sure that it's not undefined. So while we're getting, we want to check to make sure that we'll throw if the portfolio category is undefined. So what's the message? Portfolio. We were checking for a portfolio category using the provided ID and the index of that state. So now this will throw again if it's undefined. So we're going to put our exclamation point up here by the find by ID to tell it that we know it's not undefined. Security category, so we need to get the security category. Again, we use the getters. Oops, made a mistake up here. Our portfolio getters are not aware of the other getters within our store, so we need the full-blown store getters there, because we're looking to get the getter security category. There we go. And the one that we want is the portfolio category dot category ID. All right as rain now. So we have the security category. So now we can set it and just return our portfolio category. So we have a singular version. I'm getting a singular category. Let's go ahead and specify the plural version. This one will take the portfolio getters. And again, return. Again, we'll take a function or return a function that takes in a number, which is the plan ID. And from there, now we just return the store state. What we get is the state portfolio categories. We take those items. We filter those items. And we filter by x.planID equals the plan ID that we were provided. But we still need to map, and we're mapping on using the getters. The getter that we just defined, which is the singular category, but we do have to, I feel like I'm missing a, no, we're good. And we need to provide the ID. And now we're good. So when we ask for categories, we'll automatically get the security category to be populated for us. So that takes care of the two for categories. We need to deal with the plans now. So let's get a portfolio plan. Again, portfolio getters. And return our function. Send the plan ID, state that we're dealing with, store state, which is state portfolio plans, and const planned, find by ID, state ID. Check to make sure that it's not undefined again. So while getting, throw if plan is undefined with a message saying that we were looking for a portfolio plan. We were checking for ID of ID, and our state has an index of that. And oops, let's go here. So plan dot, forgot my exclamation point yet again. So plan dot categories. Use our getters to use the specific getter that we want for categories, and plan dot ID. So we'll get all of those. Return the plan, save that, perfect. And of course, last but not least, getting the plans. Getter portfolio plural plans, portfolio getters. This one's the easiest of them all. So we have our store state, state plans, dot items, dot map. Getters, portfolio plan singular, passing in the ID. All right, so that was a big chunk of work there. That should take care of what we needed for the getters in that portfolio module. Our store is still unaware of them at this moment here, but if we go into our store.ts file, we can get our portfolio getters, use the spread operator, And now we have those getters within our store. Slight sidetrack, within our store we have the index file. It's just exporting everything. Could have done it when I defined these, but I forgot all about it. So in the portfolio area we have our category, plan, and the types. Let's go ahead and save that. Now, last but not least, let's see if everything's working. So in our planner view here, we're going to create a new class. So planner. All right, import from store, and we need our getter portfolio plans, our getter decorator, and portfolio plan model. And getter, which one? The plans, read only plans, and portfolio model plan array. We'll check to see that everything is working correctly by just console logging our plans. Let's take a look. So in our browser here, we're getting the singular. We have an object or an array with one element, and if we check, we have the categories are being populated. ID is 1, name. So everything appears to be working correctly. Of course, in the next video too, we'll start off by being able to display all of our plans here in this planner, and then we'll have the ability to click on one, of course, navigate to it, and then make any, either create one or edit one. But we'll take care of those in a couple of future videos here. Until then, I will talk to you later. Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. I know that your time is valuable. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and click the thumbs up button, as well as share the video with your friends. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please leave them in the comments section below. And once again, thank you, and I will talk to you in the next video.